Just waiting. It says you're live, but I've had that problem where it's come up. There we go. Now we're up there. Here we go. Hello, and welcome to a brand new episode of Dylan Knows. This is episode 432, Sports Beans. I will detail what that is about. We've got some. I got something to say about Russia and Ukraine. I got something to say about Pokemon and the Johto event. I got something to say about Mars and Fortnite and Percy Jackson and Disney and Twin Peaks and death and snacks and Nitro Pepsi and Peeps and donuts and sports beans and action figures and all kinds of fun stuff here. Don't look like a lot of stuff this week, but it's fun. But to start off the week and the day episode, I talked about this last week, and I found it. Coca-Cola Starlight. It's my first time I tried it. It's been in the refrigerator, but my refrigerator doesn't work that well, so it smells like Coke. They said it was like supposed to be cool aftertaste with sort of a campfire flavor to it. So let's see what this tastes like here. First time I've tried it live on the show. It tastes like Coke. It's a little bit different flavor type of Coke. Some people equate it with graham crackers, or like what you use for s'mores and stuff like that. I guess I can feel that. And a sudden chill, not really feeling it either. I was getting room. It's not bad. It tastes like Coke. As I said, maybe a little bit of graham cracker flavor is feeling a little bit more intensified, but I don't feel that cold void of space that you're supposed to afterwards. It's really not bad. So, excuse me, I'll be belching all day through the episode here. So there's your Coke Starlight review. Yeah, go ahead, check it out. I mean, not gonna it's not gonna kill you. Doesn't taste awful. It's not oh my god, what the hell is this? It tastes like Coke, and it's got, as I said, got a little bit of a graham cracker sort of hint to it afterwards, but I don't feel that coldness of space thing they're talking about. So, so what's up? Let's see. Cinnamon Toast Crunch has been like the flavor du jour of things lately. Well, we now have Cinnamon Toast Crunch popcorn is now a item you can pick up now. I guess that's a nice treat you can have. Popcorn with Cinnamon Toast Crunch, either cereal bits in it or with the flavored Cinnamon Toast Crunch sort of flavoring that you get, because you have that shaker now you can get stuff with for as well. For those who want a little bit more of a harder edge to stuff, Captain Morgan's now has a cherry vanilla flavored rum. So it's a spiced rum. So if you want to enjoy a different type of spiced rum flavor, cherry vanilla is right up your alley, and Captain Morgan's got it for you. Nitro Pepsi. I just talked about the Starlight Coke. Nitro Pepsi actually sounds kind of interesting as well. Nitro Pepsi supposedly, instead of carbonation, which is what we have in here, they put nitrogen, carbonated nitrogen in. Well, not carbonated, it's nitrogen into it. And people said it actually tastes a little bit sweeter than regular Pepsi, and I think they say it's smoother, but you're drinking nitrogen. I guess that's okay. No one's been poisoned yet, but that's another one I'd like to try. See if I can find that. Maybe next week, if I can find it, I can do that on the show for next week. Because I have the Starlight Coke and Nitro Pepsi next week, if I can find it. there's that new thing. There's a place up in Hunt Valley which does nitro ice cream, and that's just basically is they put the mix the cream and all stuff together, and then they shoot the frozen nitrogen on it, and it makes it extraordinarily cold, but the flavors do really kick a little bit when you come to that. So maybe there's something to that. Spider-Man No Way Home is the biggest movie so far until Doctor Strange comes out. You're going to have to wait a little longer. Supposedly, it was supposed to come out on digital by the end of the month, but now it has been moved to March 22nd. That's digitally, but that's going to be hard to find it digitally. I don't exactly know. It's not going to be really on any streaming service. I guess you go to iTunes or whatever, you can download it and whatever like that. But March 22nd, it'll be available digitally, and it'll be on Blu-ray on April 12th. The announcement came this week, and it had a picture of all three Spider-Mans imitating that meme that we've seen a million times, and even in that movie as well, to push it. There's supposedly 80 minutes of new material in it, including deleted scenes and other stuff as well. So we'll see how that ends up being. Netflix Marvel shows, the Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, Punisher, Defenders, are leaving Netflix on March 1st, and you already know about that. And it was rumored that it was going to hit Disney Plus. Well, it's going to hit Disney Plus on March 16th, but there's a catch. It's Disney Plus in Canada, not in America. Is it possible America could get it? Disney Plus in America could get it eventually? I think so. I think that's where they're aiming for it. But right now, March 16th, the Netflix series will appear on Disney Plus only in Canada. I don't know the reasoning for that. There's got to be some sort of reasoning for it, but I'm not exactly sure what it is. Speaking of Disney Plus, Percy Jackson series that I've been talking about now for, there's the cool right now. I just got a little bit of a burst of cool right there. It takes some time, but it gets there. A couple weeks ago, I said that Disney and Rick Riordan have come to an agreement that it is a Go series. Everything is ready to rock and roll. They got it worked out. First season has been called to be made. They are presently at this moment scouting locations. They're doing casting. And once we get the main cast in, I'm sure they're going to do big splashy announcements, but we're going to find out hopefully sooner or later. As they say, if everything goes according to plan, Percy Jackson should start filming in June of this year. So it's a few more months away, but the fact that it has a film date now gives you a better opportunity of where you can pretty much expect it to come out sometime in 2023 then, which is even cooler. So that's a really good thing. But they are currently scouting out locations right now. So it's underway. The Shang-Chi director is bringing a comic book called American Born Chinese, actually more of a graphic novel, American Born Chinese, to Disney Plus as a TV show. They have started filming this week, so that's good to see that. That might be one I might be interested in checking out. Disney's Haunted Mansion remake, with a lot of big stars in it, is going to hit movie theaters first on in March of 2023. So next year around this time, well, actually next month, but around this time, you'll be seeing the Haunted Mansion, Disney's new rebooted version of it. I think that's all the Disney ones I have on this page. Kenneth Branagh and the guy Aaron Reich, Alden Ehrenreich, who played Han Solo in the Solo movie, have joined the massive cast that is Oppenheimer. So it's insane how big that cast is getting and how many big stars they're getting to do that. So that's pretty cool. Steven Spielberg is developing a film based on Steve McQueen's classic character, Frank Bullitt. So I guess he's going to be doing kind of a new version of it, or a sequel or whatever. I'm not exactly sure. That's going to be put under the microscope also when they see who he casts as Steve McQueen's in Steve McQueen's role. So that'll be a big news story probably down the line. That's not too bad. Excuse me. The Nope trailer. I forgot to mention this. The Nope trailer, which is Jordan Peele's new directorial debut, and his films have been amazing. The first trailer for it debuted during the Super Bowl, and for whatever reason, I forgot to write into my notes. But here it is. It's the more you look at it, the more insane it looks like. He's doing the we don't know exactly what's going to happen sort of thing. He throws a whole bunch of stuff at you. Is it aliens? Is it angels? Is it something that can be explained? Is it all mass hallucination? Because he likes doing twists as well. So the Nope trailer came out. So if you want to take a look at that, it's pretty good. Features a lot of the same cast members that he uses in his other movies. So that's another added bonus to check it out too. And they've all gone on to get nominations for the various roles that they've done in Jordan Peele stuff. So we'll see how that continues with that. Fortnite is coming to comics again. They have done a DC miniseries crossover with Batman, and then they did a one-shot with Batman also. And now they're doing another comic series, but this time they're using the Marvel characters that are also on the island. So that'll be coming out, I think, in June. Let me see, today's or May or June, sometime around there. It'll be coming out. It's a new Fortnite comic with Fortnite characters, and Marvel this time. Crossing Paths will be coming out in the next few months as well. Twin Peaks Day was this week. I believe it was February 24th. That was at 1 a.m. That was 1 a.m. on February 24th is when Laura Palmer was killed. And later that day, like around 10, 9 a.m., 8, 9. Well, her body was discovered around 7 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m. And then the Ronette Pulaski walked into a camp at like 7, 8 a.m. as well. That brought Special Agent Dale Cooper in 11:30 a.m. on February 24th, which is when he's talking to Diane, his secretary, on his tape recorder. It's his first appearance. He says it's February 24th. So that'd be, I think it was the 33rd anniversary of her death, I think. So end of the show for the most part. So it's fun for when you're a fan of the show, when you have these sort of things, and it has officially become an official like holiday kind of thing. Not all over, obviously, but it is definitely a unique one, like a May the 4th type of holiday as well for Twin Peaks fans as well. Today was where my Mimikyu was a big day for Pokemon Go people. The Johto event was today. I guess it was this time around last year, I guess, they did a big event like this, but with the first generation of Pokemon where you divide into 2 teams with a partner, and every Pokemon from that prefecture was released, and you had to catch them all or evolve them. And there were lots of raids and stuff like that to catch and then a lot of the ones that you could only get that are regional were released as well to do this as well. So it was a way for you to get every single Pokemon of that gen. So they were so successful that they did it again today, and they'll do it again probably 6, 8, 10, 12 months from now for the 3rd gen, so on and so forth. We'll see how that goes. Maybe sooner than later. But you have to buy a ticket. It's like $10, but still you buy a ticket, and it's kind of worth it because you get just all kinds of access to all kinds of stuff, and you just spend the whole day falling back in love, I guess, with Pokemon Go. The first gen was a little bit kind of like falling in love with it again. This one round was fun, but it just wasn't as exciting. I don't know why. because I guess of all the crap going on in the world right now. But it was a good event. My wife and I finished everything. Well, we had to wait until nighttime to evolve Umbreon, but that was the last one for both of us. But we were finished 99.9% of everything else, probably by about 5:45 today, 6 o'clock ish. Did pretty good getting shinies. Not as good as some other people I saw, but we did end up catching all the Gen 2 Pokemon and or evolving them, including all the mythical ones as well. Oh, excuse me. I'm really tired, so you'll be probably seeing me yawn a little bit. When I yawn like that, I need to get a little bit of caffeine in my system here. The color is also not quite your typical coat color. It's a bit more of a reddish tinge to it as well. So there's that. Mars Perseverance rover captured an image of what looked to be a metal drill bit on the ground. And before all the crazy people go, oh my God, proof that aliens exist. Look at that. They're like, nope, that's dropped by Perseverance for whatever reason. So they did that. I'm not going to go fully into this because I don't really want to get too political, but the big news story of this week is the Russian asshole Putin decided that he was eventually now going to invade Ukraine, a peaceful nation, an independent nation that got its independence from Russia back around 1991-92 and has been no cause of any trouble, have not had any terrorist acts, have not attacked anybody, have just lived their life in peace and prosperity. But because this asshole in charge in Russia wants to rebuild all of Russia like it was back in communism times, because he is a communist, even though he claims not to be, but let's face facts, he really is. He wants to take over Ukraine, and because he believes it belongs to him. He's throwing out the propaganda that they're the ones who are the problem, that they're just coming in to be peacekeepers, which is a bunch of bullshit. But the good news is Ukraine is not some piddly little country where everyone lives in huts and they're all farmers and stuff like that. Ukraine has one of the more powerful armies, and they've been putting up quite the fight against the Russians. So much so the leader of Ukraine has told people to stay in their homes and make Molotov cocktails. The propaganda machine has gone in overdrive now. Russians claiming that the leader of Ukraine has fled to Poland or something like that. And as soon as that came out, there was postings of him, present live shots of him walking through streets of Ukraine and in control. So again, you can't believe everything that says over there. Now, what's even scarier is that fucking guy who was before President Biden, if he was still in charge, we probably would have sent American soldiers in there to take over Ukraine for him, because he is in Putin's pocket, as are a number of the Republican parties who are all backing Putin over President Biden. And you just got to remember that they're backing someone who invaded a peaceful country for no apparent reason, and they're okay with that. And that has to freak the hell out of you. But the fact of the matter is, a poll came out that 62% believe that if the fucking guy was in charge instead of Biden, that Putin would never have invaded Ukraine. And that's a bunch of bullshit. Instead, that fucking guy would have sent troops to help him invade as well. These fucking Republican assholes are throwing their own propaganda at everything as well. And their moronic, uneducated buffoons are eating it up. And so there are half the people who believe that they would rather have Putin be in control than President Biden, which is absolutely also very scary. There are people who believe that the Ukraine were the ones that got involved in the election, which is also bullshit. And you also got to remember that that fucking guy was impeached the first time because he tried to extort the leader of Ukraine for secrets to help him win the presidential election. So you cannot believe anything you hear about this stuff. There have been some, local stuff like that. Like lots of liquor stores are taking off Russian vodka, taking that down from their shelves. Russia has not been invited to Eurovision, so they will not be allowed to be at Eurovision. And this is not the people of Russia, not all the people of Russia. This is just Putin and his inner circle and his armed forces who are doing this. The people of Russia have been protesting like they've never protested in a really long time. St. Petersburg, Moscow, tons and tons of people protesting this, people holding up signs saying this is not what we want, so on and so forth, like that, which is dangerous to them in Russia because Putin could go and hunt down every single one of those people and kill them, and he would do it no second thought about that because he's a psychopathic sociopath. And as I've said before many times, is you have to watch out when the Russians have a common goal, when they've had enough and they start massing like they are now. If you're a leader, you better watch the fuck out because it happened in 1917, 1917, when they had enough of the king and wanted to go with Lenin and the communism and the communists and socialists. They got rid of those kings and queens and people that really quickly and embraced the communism. And then as their leaders got worse and worse, they started to get that itch again where like, this doesn't seem to be quite right. And eventually leading to, after a costly Cold War, to around the early 1990s, they amassed again, saying, all right, we're done with this communism thing. Let's go be democratic. And they were able to bring about democracy to the USSR. Now we have another group of people who are subverting that as well. And they're starting to amass again. So I would say, and then plus, the Ukrainians are not giving up. They're winning some major battles. They've taken down 2 major air support ships. They've blown up an airport that had Russians airplanes on them. They've, as I said, the leader of Ukraine says make Molotov cocktails. Their soldiers are holding their own. There is a urban legend mythical pilot, the Ghost, flying around who knocked out 6 Russian airplanes in one day in his airplane. Don't know if that's true, but someone knocked them out. It might have been multiple people, but they're not going to this good night very easily. And Russians are starting to run a little bit scared a little bit here. So we'll see what happens with all that. So we're keeping an eye on that. It's scary, but it's more embarrassing that there are people in this country who would rather live under a despotic regime like Putin's and believe that the attacking and killing of innocent people who had nothing to do with anything is okay. It boggles my mind. Besides the soldiers and the people like that who are getting killed in this, there have been other deaths this week. Joni James, 1950s pop star who sang the song Why Don't You Believe Me, never heard it, died at the age of 91. We're done that page. 2022 has hit again. Sally Kellerman died at the age of 84. She was in the movie Back to School with Rodney Dangerfield. She was the original Hot Lips. Loretta Swit played it in the MASH TV show, but MASH was a movie before it was a TV show, and Sally Kellerman played the role of Hot Lips Houlihan, which was later played by Loretta Swit. She was also in an episode of Star Trek, the original TV series as well, and there's probably a bunch of other stuff that you can see her in, but I remember her most obviously from not only MASH, but for me mostly Back to School, because that's one of my favorite movies to watch. The Amazing Jonathan, a magician, comedian, game show host, passed away at the age of 63. Interesting thing about that is back when I was in college, it was my freshman year in college because my sister was with me also. Our college was doing a day trip to a casino in Atlantic City where they were filming a potentially new game show there, and they needed an audience. It was like a pilot for a game show, and the people who are going to be in the audience are the members who get up to be on stage. I forgot the gist of what it was, but the Amazing Jonathan was the host of it. So we filmed 2 episodes of it in this Atlantic City casino. And I remember one scene or one time in one of those episodes when Amazing Jonathan was leaving after the show's over, he comes into the crowd. He gave me a high five. So that was pretty cool. So he passed away this week. So that was kind of sad. One of my favorite grunge bands of the 90s, and one that gets kind of lost in the shuffle. Everybody knows about Soundgarden and Nirvana and Pearl Jam and Smashing Pumpkins and stuff like that. But a lot of people don't know about Screaming Trees, which is actually, in my opinion, is probably one of the better grunge bands of all time. And it's outstanding. And Screaming Trees was in the movie Singles, so you knew they were something, because every pretty big grunge band at that time was in that in some form or another. But the lead singer, Mark Langen of Screaming Trees, died this week at the age of 57, so that was kind of sad to see that. And Dale Critchlow, a actor in Napoleon Dynamite, died at the age of 62 this week as well. So rest in peace to them. If you get a second, I wish I could play some Screaming Trees, but I'm afraid I'm going to get a copyright issue. Yeah, but All I Know is one of my favorites. And they just had, they are one of the better grunge bands of the early 1990s that not a lot of people know about. Now, where is that? Well, I guess I'll find it eventually. Alcoholic Mountain Dew. I talked a little bit about that they were bringing that about. Well, it is out and about now, so you can probably find it probably at your liquor store, or if you're lucky and you live in a state where alcohol is sold at grocery stores, you'll probably be able to find it there as well. So that kind of sucks for us. We don't have a chance to do that. A 20-person tent with various sleeping rooms is available now. It's huge, but every person has their own little room that they can stay in, so that you're all not cramped into one big area. I'm sorry, excuse me. Pampers has an app now that lets you know when your baby's diaper needs to be changed. You put a little sensor on the diaper, and once it senses either wetness or a change in smell or whatever, it will alert your phone saying, baby needs to be changed, baby needs to be changed, that type of sort of thing. There they are. The name of the episode is Sports Beans, and the reason why I mention that is because Jelly Belly, who are one of the premier jelly bean makers, has created a brand of jelly beans called Sports Beans, which are loaded with carbohydrates and electrolytes. So it's basically like eating Gatorade in jelly bean form. But it is called Sports Beans. And I guess they're available at specialty shops. I haven't seen any myself, but you probably get them at specialty shops as well. And, why not get your carbs and electrolytes through jelly beans? Also, Powerade, which is one of the other types of Gatorades out there, has created a sports freezer bar for your pleasure. Basically, a popsicle of frozen Powerade for the most part. It'll have electrolytes and all that stuff in it, but it'll be in a frozen form as well. So if you're into sports and stuff like that, there you go. Baby Yoda's all over the place this week. There's Baby Yoda Monopoly is now available. So Monopoly does something for everything, really. Where's my other? I have a whole Baby Yoda section here. See if I can find it. Oh, yeah. There's a motorized Baby Yoda toy also available where Baby Yoda walks and talks and moves and stuff like that. There's also a Baby Yoda gummy, jumbo-sized Baby Yoda gummy you can get now for Easter. It's a giant Baby Yoda, but it's in gummy form. So you can't beat that. And here's something else. Cheesy potato tots that look like Baby Yoda are also a thing now as well. So Baby Yoda, after his appearances in Book of Boba Fett, has gotten a whole brand new level of fame again. I think people were afraid it's been almost a year since he'd been in anything. So the fan base was getting rabid for something. So now we have all this crazy stuff here. Dog onesies. If you have a problem where your dog tends to shed a lot, hell, this probably works for cats also, but they don't have any for cats yet. But if you tend to have a dog that sheds a lot, now you can put them in a onesie that covers their entire body for the most part. Yeah, that is a thing. Everybody loves cereal in all different types of forms. We talked about Cinnamon Toast Crunch popcorn. How about Cocoa Pebbles cake mix from Duncan Hines? You now get a Duncan Hines cake mix that has Cocoa Pebbles in it and added on top of it and stuff like that. So you have that as well. You have Captain Crunch bars, which actually sound pretty good. They come in both peanut butter form and berry form. You know, those are a couple of Captain Crunch forms. You can get them out there now and however you want it. Peeps Tropical Burst Marshmallow Bunnies are one of the new crazy flavors that'll be coming out here very shortly for Easter. Andrew Garfield is having a year. Well, technically, if you count if you go from February of 2021 to February 2022, he's having a year, as it were, or a moment. Maybe that's a better term for him. He's having a moment. He was in Spider-Man No Way Home, and people have been clamoring to get a third Spider-Man movie because he stole that movie from Tobey and Tom Holland. He got nominated for Best Actor for Tick, Tick, Boom. He won for Best Actor in a Musical Comedy, the Golden Globe for Tick, Tick, Boom. And now he is going to be in an FX TV miniseries based on a true crime story called Under the Banner of Heaven. It looks like a hugely religious sort of Midwestern town, whatever, has a serial killer that's killing people that possibly could be connected to the Catholic Church sort of thing, or whatever church, Methodist, whatever the big church is in that town. So, but Andrew Garfield's in that also. So he's having himself a moment right now. So good for him. The Kit Kat Ruby McFlurry is back with pink chocolate, only available at McDonald's, I guess, through the spring, I suppose. You can now buy hot dogs that taste like steak. And actually, that might be intriguing to see what that's about, if I can find something like that. Again, if I find something like that, I will let you know about it. But I don't see anything coming out anytime soon. I haven't seen it yet, but you could get a hot dog that tastes like a steak, which is interesting, I guess. I think I've talked about these before, but I'm going to bring it up again. Vanilla frosting Hershey's Kisses are going to be out for Easter. Basically, it's a Hershey Kiss filled with vanilla frosting. That just seems like it's going to be extraordinarily sweet and probably painful for your teeth, but what can you do? This, on the other hand, actually sounds pretty good. Everybody likes your chocolate Easter bunny, so why don't you try to get a Rice Krispie chocolate Easter bunny this season? It is a milk chocolate bunny filled with Rice Krispies. I think that could be pretty good. You get that sort of the crunchy sort of taste of the Rice Krispies and the milk chocolate covering. Oh yeah, that sounds pretty good to me actually. What else we got? It's Weird Al time here. A elaborate Weird Al pinball machine is now making the rounds around certain locations as well. That is made up of 17 of his best parodies. I don't know exactly what that means, but pictures or maybe it plays the music of it when it hits certain things. I'm not exactly sure, but there's a Weird Al pinball machine out there now. Speaking of Weird Al, I mentioned last week or 2 weeks ago that Daniel Radcliffe has been cast as Weird Al in a biopic that I believe I heard is going to be on Apple streaming or something like that, or on Paramount or Peacock or some BS like that. And they're currently filming it right now. They released the first couple pictures of it. One had Daniel Radcliffe in full Weird Al getup going from his dressing room to the set. And another one has a shot of him. Looks like he's on stage because it's dark, but with lighting on him, and he's playing the accordion that Weird Al is famous for. Does he look like he looks like Daniel Radcliffe wearing a curly-haired wig and a curly mustache and big glasses. I will save judgment on that for another time. But I don't know. We'll see. I think it's okay casting. It something just doesn't look right about it right now. That could obviously change. We'll see what happens. I didn't mention this when I was talking about the Russia-Ukraine stuff, but Sean Penn happened to be in Ukraine when Russia invaded, and he's staying there to make a documentary about the Russian aggression. So I guess Godspeed to him. We'll see what happens with that. Jennifer Lawrence, who hasn't been really in the news for a while, and now we know why. The reason why she hasn't really been in the news that much and she hasn't done anything in a while, she did that Don't Look Up movie that is, currently making the circuit on Netflix and the Academy and stuff like that. But the main reason she really hasn't been out and about as much as she used to be, because she used to be everywhere, is because she was pregnant. And this week she gave birth to her baby. No sex has been given, so we don't know if it's a boy or girl, but that's okay. We don't need to know. It's none of our damn business. So voila. Still pretty good. I drink it again. I actually have another bottle upstairs. I'm not going to drink it today, though. The Fairly Odd Parents, which is a Fairly Odd cartoon that was on Nickelodeon for a while, is getting a live action series, and a trailer came out for it, and it looks absurdly weird, as I guess it should be. Just doesn't seem right. I don't know. Quentin Tarantino wants to direct episodes of Timmy Oliphant's Justified Rebirth, Reboot, whatever you want to call it. He worked with Timmy Oliphant in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, so he wants to, get back and do some TV. He's always wanted to do some TV, and I think he's done some stuff, but he's always wanted to redo that again, I guess. Daredevil actress who played Karen Page is a huge Dungeons and Dragons fan. She has created her own Dungeons and Dragons show, not a acting show. It's about talking about Dungeons and Dragons and playing it and stuff like that. So it's a kind of a live action sort of thing, like where she shows her game and talks about creating characters and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool for fans of Dungeons and Dragons. This Is Us actress Link Ross is joined the cast of Ironheart, which is presently filming right now. So that's a good sign too. Gen 7 Pokemon, like my boy Mimikyu, have been added to the Pokemon Go game, which means that we haven't had a generation drop in a while. It looks like we're going to be probably getting one, I would assume, probably sometime this spring or summer. fall better for my boy Mimikyu. But we'll see what happens. But it looks like they are currently in Pokemon Go. All the Gen 7s that haven't been released are all in there now. So just a matter of time that they get released and how they're going to get released. So we'll see how that goes. Telescopic contact lenses are a thing now where if you put them in your eye, you'll be able to zoom in 3 times more than you were able to with regular contact lenses. I guess that's kind of a neat idea, kind of scary, and don't know how it's going to work, but apparently it's a thing. So I guess it's interesting, I suppose. I mean, you can see only so far, but just think you can see 3 times as far. See if you're like, at a football game or a baseball game, whatever, when you're way up high in the stands and you just see the field and the little dots of the people. With these contact lenses, you'll probably be able to see the faces of these people on the field. So pretty cool, I guess. A rare white bear has been caught on film. It's not a polar bear. None of that BS. No, it's like a grizzly bear, black bear that's white, something like that. So it is a white bear that is very unusual. And there seems to be, as I said, I had this about a month or so ago. We had a whole bunch of white animal sightings, and now here's another one. So something's going on and something's happening. They're all turning white, which is maybe a bad sign that maybe we're going to get to a cold age, ice age again sort of thing, because white would be easiest way to get yourself camouflaged in. So we'll see what happens with that. I mentioned a couple weeks ago that the NFL has said that they will be playing a game in Munich, Germany, this upcoming season. Well, we know the teams involved with it. We believe the Kansas City Chiefs will be playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Munich, Germany. We don't know the date yet because the schedule hasn't come out yet. But it appears that after discussions and stuff like that, it has been decided that those 2 teams will be the first teams to play in Germany. So good on those, I suppose. Speaking of football, Tom Brady, one of my least favorite football players for a number of reasons, but he is, to give him credit, he is really good. He has retired. And his next level he's going to be doing is he's going to be producing and co-starring in a movie role that has a bizarre, not a bizarre, but just kind of you're going to make a movie about this, but it has a hell of a cast in it besides Tom Brady playing himself, because, what else can he play? You're going to have, listen to this cast here: Jane Fonda, Lily Tomlin, Sally Field, and Rita Moreno are the main characters in this. And the story is called 80 for Brady, which all these actresses are close to their 80s. I know Sally Field might be a bit younger than that, but I think Jane Fonda's close to being 80. Lily Tomlin's close to being 80. We know Rita Moreno's close to being 80. They might still be in their 70s also, but 80 for Brady is the name of the movie, and it's about 4 Brady fans, played by these 4 actresses, who go on a road trip to catch him in the 2017 Super Bowl. So the fact that a movie called 80 for Brady, which will focus on Tom Brady and have him actually in it, and he's producing it, can have the stellar actresses that have just been named here starring in it is mind-boggling to me. I mean, how do you convince a Jane Fonda or a Sally Field or a Rita Moreno or a Lily Tomlin, hey, why don't you guys make a movie about your love for a football player named Tom Brady? To be fair, I mean, it's not like he's going to be a presence through the whole movie. It's going to focus on these 4 women, and that's outstanding. But eventually he is going to pop up and appear in it because he's starring in it and producing it. So just a weird idea, but a hell of a cast if they can get it done. Kind of pissed now. I think last week or 2 weeks ago, I talked about the Oscar nominations that came out. Well, in order to get more interest in the Oscars have decided we're going to show less of the awards being presented. They are saying that they'll be dropping 8 categories from the live broadcast. I think they did a couple of those last year where we saw, like the documentary short subjects, stuff like that. I don't know if we actually did or it was 2 years ago, whatever we saw, they did have some that were already picked, and then we just see who was the winner of it. But this year they are dropping 8 categories, including documentary short subject, original score, which boggles my mind, film editing, which boggles my mind, makeup and hairstyle, which boggles my mind, production design, which boggles my mind, animated short film. The short films don't bother me quite as much. Live action short film and sound. What sound? Yeah, and sound. It makes no sense at all to drop categories to get more interest in it. What you need to do to get more interest in it is you need to have movies that they've seen. You've got to acquiesce to them. Let's face facts. The normal people aren't film snobs, whatever you want to call them. They're not going to go see most of these films. And even if they're on Netflix, a lot of them, it's not the type of movie they want to go see. They want to be entertained. They don't want it to be too hard to follow. They don't want to look, too deeply at things, whatever. They just want to fun, smash them up sort of thing. The easiest thing to do if you want to get people to watch your Academy Awards is to make it like the Golden Globes, increase the number of awards by dividing up Best Picture into Best Picture Drama and Best Picture musical comedy, much like what Golden Globes does, and then do that with actresses, so on and so forth. Because most people have seen probably at least one of those musicals or comedies, because that's what the people tend to watch more than they do the dramas. And you just got to stop just making it be a 4-hour long freaking show. I mean, what was it? Last year's was moving right along. I was like, all right, this is awesome. And then about 15 minutes right before it was like going to be 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock, whatever. It was like, okay, we're going to get done in a 3-hour time period. This is awesome. They go and they throw this stupid, we're going to now play this song. You're going to have to guess what it is. I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me. And it made the show stop. So we'll see. I'm disappointed in them that they're not going to be showing these, but what are you going to do? Krispy Kreme, which always seems to make their appearance here in my show, they are releasing their Twix donuts, including one that has an entire Twix bar inside of it, which honestly I would love to try. It's a donut stuffed with a Twix bar. Now the other two have, crumpled up Twix, caramel, cookie pieces, chocolate, whatever on top of it. And the flavors are like a Twixer one. But the one that I want to try is the full one that has the full bar inside of the donut. That sounds outstanding. Peep Soda from Pepsi is coming back, but again, you can only get that, I think, from their online shop or whatever. You got to do some online stupid thing. That one should be an interesting one to try, I would think. I don't know if it'd be any good or not, but there it is. Coca-Cola coffee, actually, I've had it on my show before a bunch of times, is actually not a bad brand, and I actually haven't seen it in my shop for a while, and I haven't actually had it for a while, but I really did like them a lot. And it had 3 flavors. It had vanilla, it had coffee, and it had caramel. Those are the 3 flavors they have. We'll add a 4th flavor to it now, which I want to try now. It's Coke Coffee Mocha is now going to be available. So I actually want to try that one and see how that one tastes. So I'll have to redouble my efforts not only to find Pepsi Nitro, but to find Coca-Cola with coffee mocha flavor and see if that's going to be any good. The cartoon Arthur that was on PBS that has thrown in a bunch of the memes with the fist and stuff like that has ended its 25 season run on PBS this week. Their final episode aired. and it was, from what I heard, pretty good. M&M's Honey Graham Milk Chocolate Pieces is the new one for your holiday. Honey Graham cookie things seem to be the trend nowadays. We've had a bunch of these chocolates are going to be having that type of stuff in it as well. So that's pretty cool. A Golden Globe mug that looks like the character Sophia is also available. It's very scary looking, but if you want to drink your coffee out of the head of Sophia from Golden Girls, this is for you. James Gunn is living his high life right now. His show Peacemaker is winning all kinds of accolades and the ratings wars and stuff like that. He's working on Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which is getting a lot of good buzz on that. He has a second season of Peacemaker coming up, and he also said that he's probably going to focus more on TV now than movies. But he's also going to focus on one other aspect of his life. He's going to focus on being a married man. His longtime girlfriend, actress Jennifer Holland, who also appeared in Peacemaker as one of the main characters. Two of them got engaged this week as well. So congratulations to them and the happy couple as well. It's the first one I can't read now. Something on ice. Oh, Bumper Boats on Ice. That's what it was. Providence, Rhode Island, which I've been to before, and it's a beautiful city, I have to tell you. But it's brutally cold and brutally winter because it's up there, the north, up there with Massachusetts and Vermont and Connecticut and New Hampshire and Maine. Not as bad as Maine, but it's get cold temperature. The snows that have been barely touching us here in Maryland have been dumping tons of inches and in some cases feet of snow on Providence and stuff like that. But one of the things that they like to do is, you've heard of bumper cars and you've heard of bumper boats, but how about bumper boats on ice? Bumper boats are, we have bumper boats, I think, at the Inner Harbor, but this is inflatable bumper boats that slide across frozen ponds and lakes, and you bump into each other and try, I guess, to knock people over as well. So that is kind of cool. There it is. Okay. Mickey Mouse mug comes with a topper that looks like his ears. So it's got the mug itself has got like the red and white sort of suspenders sort of costume that Mickey Mouse wears. And then the topper you put on it has the ears up there. So it looks like Mickey Mouse in small form. So if you're a big fan of that, you can get that as well. Lego has a Spice Girl set out now, which is weird, I guess. It's interesting, I suppose. This week had February 22nd, 2/22/22, and everybody posted their pictures of 2/22/22 on 2/22 on Tuesday. I did it myself. I had the day off, and I got my teeth checked, so I did that as well. Fanta has a dragon fruit flavored soda. Fanta's the one continuing with the flavored sodas, and they keep doing really good ones like that. To compete with McDonald's Shamrock Shake, Dunkin's is doing a Shamrock Mochaccino, which is going to be part of their new spring lineup, which will be coming out probably March 1st, probably when you be able to pick this up as well. All right, that's part of the science ones. Inflatable chair comes with LED lights. So basically, it's like a, what do you call those? A beanbag chair that you can, or just a comfy sort of chair that you can sit outside at night with your friends during the summer, and you can sit on it, and the chair changes color because it's made with, it has LED lights inside it to make it very interesting. Chips Ahoy has their Chewy Chips Ahoy filled with Hershey's Fudge is available now. So basically you get the Chewy Chips Ahoy, and you bite into it and you get that burst of Hershey's Fudge, which is outstanding. The first ever black neutron star has been discovered by scientists. I don't know much about neutron stars or why it's a big deal, but it's the first one ever found. So, hey, why not? Another big thing, this is even bigger, that scientists are going to be keeping an eye on, is two black holes are very close to becoming maybe one massive one or destroying each other, or they want to find out what happens because two black holes are about ready to run into each other out there in outer space. So I can guarantee you that scientists are keeping a very close watch on it, photographing it, stuff like that, to see what would happen if two black holes met. Could be kind of interesting. It's one of those fascinating things, like what would actually happen? And we might be able to get an answer sooner than later. So that's pretty cool. A teen finds her long-lost childhood cat while working at an animal sanctuary or animal shelter. So apparently the cat must have run away or catnapped. I don't exactly sure what happened, but disappeared. And as a child, she missed her pet and had a rough time. But eventually she, probably never forgot about it, but got, grew up and started moving on. And then she got a job at an animal shelter. And one day she goes in there and she notices that her cat is there that she lost years ago and was reunited with her. So I think that's pretty cool about that. The XFL will be joining forces with the NFL this year. I'm not exactly sure. I think they're going to be testing a bunch of stuff for the NFL, like new rule ideas, new refereeing ideas, new potential stuff like that. And they will, give the NFL what they believe. Hey, you might want to do this, or don't even think about doing this, or you might want to change this up. So that could be pretty interesting as well. This week is an interesting week for us. March 1st comes bright and early on Tuesday. And my lovely wife's birthday is on Thursday. Speaking of which, I need to buy her stuff I have on my Amazon list. So I got to get that taken care of soon, to get that here sooner than later. Her birthday is on Thursday. And on Friday the 4th, March 4th, it is Take Your Action Figure to Work Day. It is finally back on. It was skipped last year. And 2 years before that, 2020 and 2019, and maybe even 2018 for that matter, I brought my action figure to work. I had a different one each time, so I need to find a new one, but I have a myriad of them, so I can pick any which one I want now. So we'll see which one I decide to choose on to go that. But yes, so you can take advantage of that too. If you have any action figures, if your kids have action figures, and you just want to do something fun, what you do is you take your action figure to work. You take pictures of it doing work things, and you post it on your social media with the hashtag, I think, Take Your Action Figure to Work Day, something like that. So let me see if I can show you some photos of not all of them, but I'll show you kind of what I did. It was good because the last time I did it was 2020, which was right before COVID hit and before I got furloughed. So it was like the last fun time I had at work for a while. So yeah, like right here is I brought Martian Manhunter. So he was working on the sewing machine. He was looking at my boss's office. I had him doing an order, you can't see it too well, but doing like an order there. And working on a computer, stuff like that. That's sort of the fun stuff you want to do. Punching at the time clock, So that's sort of the fun stuff that you can do for this, and you just have a lot of fun. So you got to be a little bit more unique about stuff. So we'll see what I can do about that. So we'll see how that goes. But that's going to be something fun for you to do. If you want to do it, you absolutely can. Anyone can do it. It's fine. Aaron Pierre is set to join Mahershala Ali in the Blade MCU Blade film coming out soon. So that's going to be pretty cool. The Blue Beetle film that the HBO Max was going to make and have it just stream on HBO Max has now changed their mind. They're going to release it in movie theaters before it goes on to HBO Max. So I guess that's, it comes out in 2023, I think. So I guess that's a way to show that you're hoping that all this COVID stuff is not going to be a big a deal. People are going to go to the movie theaters again. There's signs that people do go to the movie theaters when it's something interesting. So we'll see if that continues. What the hell is that? Oh, Dune Part 2 is officially greenlit. I think I talked about that last week, but it has a shooting date. They're going to start shooting this summer of 2022. Sorry, it took me a second to figure that out. James Mangold is going to direct the Buster Keaton biopic. So people who may or may not know who Buster Keaton is will now be able to see it in this biopic from James Mangold. Jamie Lee Curtis, who is synonymous with the Halloween film franchise, may very well have just filmed her last scene as Laurie Strode. Halloween Ends is the Halloween movie I think supposed to come out this year. This Halloween, she has finished her work on that film, and I'm assuming that that's going to be it for her role as Laurie Strode. So this could very well be the very last time you see Jamie Lee Curtis as Laurie Strode, but she has finished all that over and done with. All right, the last few things I have remaining. Oh, here's some cool. Man memorizes a French dictionary to enter into a French Scrabble tournament, to compete in a French Scrabble tournament. And he doesn't speak any French, but he does very, very well and almost wins it, I think. So that's kind of interesting. So the things I have left over is, could Earth be an intelligent being? People are starting to think that, much like Ego, the Living Planet, or the Green Lantern planet, I forget the name of it right now, that our Earth, hence the name Mother Earth, could actually be a living, breathing creature, and we are killing her due to our climate change and stuff we're doing, drilling for oil and so on and so forth, that we could be killing her. This is a theory that's been out for a while. The Native Americans have believed it for the longest time, and it's now just filtering its way down to regular people, I suppose. And I'm not exactly sure how much I agree with that, but where do you think the Mother Earth stuff came from, Could it be? Possibly. Could that be why, earthquakes and stuff like that happen all the time? Who knows? Something else that's kind of bizarre is, why did dozens of birds suddenly fall out of the sky in Mexico, and a bunch of them were dead? There's video of it's a neighborhood, and all of a sudden all these birds just go flop down, and a bunch fly off, but a bunch stay on the ground dead from something. Now, some people believe there was some electromagnetic sort of thing in the air that knocked them out of their place, but it was a massive ball of birds just go fall down, and a bunch were killed. Nobody knows how they were killed. It didn't look like they fell from a really, really high spot. And besides, they have wings, so they'd be able to fly. They don't know, and maybe they were stunned or whatever, and they fell and they broke all their. I don't know, but they are saying they don't understand why it is. But the video itself is quite interesting, if not a little scary, to see just this massive mob of birds just go flop, and some of them die from that. So, to be continued, just another mystery of the world we have to deal with. Now, the last story, which shouldn't be funny because it happened to a real person and it's a real situation that's really painful, but in and of itself is just how the hell or what could that be like? An Olympic cross-country skier. The Olympics ended last week, so he was set to compete in a cross-country skiing event, or he did compete in, I don't know, but he suffered from a frozen penis. Now, I don't know how you get the frozen penis when you are wearing your suit and insulated stuff. Everything's supposed to be insulated. I don't think the temperatures were brutally cold in Beijing, China to like Antarctic cold. I don't think it was that cold out there because nobody else suffered this, just this guy did. And I honestly, I didn't really follow too much into the story, but it just seems like kind of a weird, random way of getting hurt. I can't even imagine what a frozen penis could feel like. But what's even more crazy, as I've just said, is how did he actually get it? I don't know. And maybe if I read the article, they would tell you, but I just was like, I don't know if I want to read that article or not. So that's it. This was the last episode for February. Our next episode set in February will be February 2023, hopefully. We enter March on Tuesday, and our next episode will be sometime on the weekend, probably Saturday night again. We are taking my wife out to dinner on Saturday night, but that shouldn't be an all-night sort of thing, and I should be able to come down here after her birthday dinner to do that. So hopefully we won't have any major things going on. Hopefully this Ukraine-Russia thing will be not over, because I doubt it's going to be over anytime soon, but at least there'll be no major issues or problems or whatever, and hopefully hope for the best. To talk a little bit about take your action figure to work day, you go ahead and do that. See whatever other kind of trailers coming out. I think a Morbius trailer, new Morbius trailer could be coming out soon. We'll see what other surprises come up. Who's going to pass away this week? I don't know. Find out all next week. Find out by next week, by next Saturday, to see what is actually going on here in the world of pop culture and your life. So on that note, go out there, enjoy yourself. It's 27 degrees. It's Sunday now. Have a good day.